Hello guys, so today we're going to look into some of the fingerstyle patterns that I tend to use and I suggest to my students whenever they get into that kind of playing. With every pattern that we're going to learn today, I'm going to give you a song so you can practice it, and which is going to give you some musical context and some motivation. The basics that we need to know when we get into that kind of playing is defining the roles of your right hand fingers. So for example, we have the thumb that usually covers the lower register, which is the strings 5, 6, 5, and 4. And it usually plays the bass note of the chord. Then we have the remaining 3 fingers that usually cover the higher register, starting from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings, and sometimes the 4th. Defining these roles will definitely help you learn a bit more complicated fingerstyle patterns as we go along. So let's get started. So the first fingerstyle pattern that I give to my students is kind of based on a song that definitely everybody knows. I'm gonna tell you which song it is in a second, but the principle here is that the thumb is hitting the string on the lower register, which is an A string, because we're playing an A minor chord. So it's from the 5th string going 0 to 1, 0. And so we're playing the 5th string, and then we hit the strings 2 and 3 with fingers in index and middle. And we alternate between the two. They never play together. This pattern is great for the beginners because it is so simple. And the song that we're going to learn is Ain't No Sunshine. And it starts with the same exact pattern. We're playing a little bit simplified version of that, so we're not using the bar chords or anything, but that's not the point. We're working on your right hand right now. So we're going to start with an A minor, open shape. We're going to play the pattern for 2 beats. 1, 2. We go to E minor. What happens with the E minor that your thumb is switching to the 6th string. But the upper register, the strings 2 and 3, still remain the same. But on an E minor, they're open. So that means you don't really need to fret the whole chord. So we do that for one round, or 1 beat. And then we go to G chord. And then we have our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string for that root note of G. We do that one time and go back to A minor. Also for G chord, the open 2 strings 2 and 3 remain as before. So the whole pattern. The next section would be E minor chord. For the whole bar, then we're doing D minor chord, which changes the thumb position. We go to D string, open D string, which is the 4th, and then we play the different set of upper register strings, which would be 1 and 2, still with using our peace fingers. That's also for the whole bar, and then we go back to the main theme. So since the pattern is really simple, you can always add variations. So for instance, you only play 1 string at a time and you alternate between the upper register strings. So or add 1st string, playing with your ring finger. You can play it faster. So this pattern kind of is open-ended game with lots of different variations that you can do. So the next pattern is kind of straightforward in the way it sounds, and it may require a little bit more accuracy, especially when you're not used to using your fingers for playing. And it's kind of like a broken down chord. And it would sound like this. Again, I'm staying on the same A minor chord, but what we're doing is I'm playing the thumb, 5th string, and then with these 3 fingers, I play strings 3, 2, and 1. One after the other. Again. And also, you can always change the pattern, but we're going to stick with this straight like roll of the notes. So the song for this pattern is definitely well known and is by Led Zeppelin, called Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. We're going to change the way the strings are played a little bit, but I'm going to explain it to you. So we're going to start with an A minor chord again. But we're going to play the thumb, 4th string with your index finger, 3rd string with our middle finger, and 3rd finger playing the 1st string. So at the beginning of the video I mentioned that the fact that sometimes you play the 4th string, which is normally would be the bass note, with a higher register finger. So the way it goes again, strings 5, 4, 3, 1. And at the second time around we go into the 2nd string. So it will be your normal roll, but starting on the 4th string with your index finger. So that's just keeping that A minor chord position. If you want to learn the rest of the song, we can quickly go over the chords. I'll leave the tabs, the PDF for the tabs, in the description below, so if you want to go back to those, feel free to. But just a quick breakdown, we have the next chord, which would be an A minor 7 over G. But we still have that melody going. So the upper register strings stay on strings 4, 3, 2, but we have our thumb on the 6th string because we're fretting it with a 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. And we add the pinky for the 1st round. For the 2nd round we release it. So far. Then we have a D major over F sharp, which we play like this. So we have 2nd middle finger on the 2nd string of the 2nd fret of the 6th string, ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, pinky on the 2nd string 3rd fret. We play the strings 6th on with the thumb, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. And we have the pinky on the 2nd string, as I said. For the 1st round, 2nd round, we release it. And our 1st finger is supposed to be on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, 1st fret. So. We finish off the riff with an F major chord. We play the thumb, 6, and then the rest of the strings will be 4, 3, 2. And the same with an E major chord. If you tend to use your thumb a lot, you can use that shape. Thumb on the 6th string, ring finger on the 4th string, middle finger on the 3rd, and index on the 2nd. Since these are all the notes that you're playing, you don't really need to worry about 5th and 1st string. So they're completely muted in my case. And you go back to E major. So the whole riff again. So this next pattern includes a bit more movement with your thumb, where it moves between the between the strings. So let me just play the pattern. So there's two parts actually happening simultaneously now, so that's going to definitely require a little bit more work to become comfortable with that. So the thumb is basically going between the 5th string and the 6th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can start with an A minor chord, and just to make it easier so you don't have to move your fingers around, the upper register only does that. Ring, middle, and index, and then ring and middle. When you combine, now if we go back to the initial riff that we did, which includes our ring finger moving between the 5th and the 6th strings, we're going to get this riff. And it's one of my favorites, because it's just one chord song and it just sounds amazing. That's the whole song. And it's called Coconut. So this next fingerstyle pattern is kind of a combination of the two patterns that we learned already, which is the first one that we did, which is alternating between the thumb and the higher register, and the one that we did just a second ago, which is bass note moving between the strings. And what is happening here is I'm just going to play the pattern for you. So the thumb is moving between the strings 5 and 4th in this case. We are on the C major chord. So it's going, it's a bit faster movement. And in between these two notes, we add the higher register notes, which would be index and middle finger responsibility on strings 3 and 2. So what I do, I play the thumb, index on the 3rd string, then thumb on the 4th, and then middle on the 2nd. Again. Speed it up. So to make the pattern less repetitive and more bouncy, it's often common to remove one of the notes at the end. You're not playing that last 2nd string at the very end of the bar. And the song to practice this pattern with, of course, is going to be Landslide. So the chords are C major, normal C major, so 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. Then we have this chord, which is G over B, which only just means that we're not playing the G as a bass, we're playing the B as a bass. So we're going to have our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, 4th and 3rd open, and then our pinky is going to go on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And the last chord is your normal A minor. 0, 2, 2, 1, 0. And you go between the three of them. So what's great about this particular song is that, at least in this part, we're not moving across different sets of strings with our thumb. Our actually even higher register fingers. Of course, if you want to play Landslide with the tune, which is even more fun than by yourself, you should put the capo on the 2nd fret. For the consistency of this lesson, I'll just kept all the songs in the same key, so just bear in mind whenever you are practicing that song. So this last pattern is based on a song called Julia, and it sounds something like this. So what's happening here is a lot of things. First of all, the thumb is going between the 3 strings this time, not 2. So from the first chord, which is C major, with an added G on the top with our pinky, so the chord would be 3, 2, 0, 1, 3. And the thumb is going between the 3 strings, so 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. So it's alternating and always bouncing back to the 4th string. The next pattern is on a higher register. So the pattern goes ring, index, and middle. The tricky part is that some of those notes of the higher register are played together at the same time as the bass note, but some of them are being played in between. So navigating that and getting used to the feeling, how it feels, is going to definitely take some a little bit more time. So my approach for this kind of pattern or anything more complicated like that, I would learn the separate parts first, individually, and then join them in together. So let's start with the thumb. Now don't forget to move your ring finger between 5 and 6 strings. Just the top. Just a thumb. Together. So the remaining bits of the song are going back into the A minor chord. This time we're playing an A minor 7 with an open G string. We keep that G note on the 1st string with our pinky. And the thumb is playing the same set of strings again, but obviously we have to play the open E note. Then we go into an E minor chord. And the way I play it, I tend to press the 2 notes on the 4th and 5th strings on the 2nd fret with the same finger, just to make it easier. The thing is, we also start with the 5th string on this chord. Then the second time around, we go from C, C major, A minor, E minor, then we go to G, but we also started with the 5th string. So that will be probably the trickiest part in this tune, in this part at least. Going from that E minor to G, because you have to release your 1st finger from the 4th string, but keep it on the 5th. And while you play that, you have to put your middle and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th and 2nd strings accordingly. So again. So I guess this is a wrap for today. I hope you found these patterns and different snippets of songs helpful. So if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you have any suggestions or comments, leave them down below. Also, the PDF is going to appear in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.